What's up, guys? It's Mighty Manotor, and I'm back with my brother Kyle, also known as DrumKid92.
Hello.
What's up? And you can't see his face because he didn't bring his video equipment, so...
All right, I guess we're going to do this every intro.
We are, because some people might only want to watch the Microsoft press conference video.
It's true.
And so they need to know how unprofessional you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Microsoft's press conference today. We're each bringing 5 quote-unquote real predictions to talk about, and then we each have one kind of funny, weird, crazy prediction that there's no way it's actually going to happen. And we're doing each press conference as a separate video. I'm making a playlist that will have all of them in case you want to watch a different one, or all of them, which would be really nice. We'll be linking that on the screen here and in the description, so be sure to check that out. So let's go ahead and get into it. When Microsoft's press conference opens, what are we going to see?
Halo 5.
You think they're going to start with Halo 5?
Yeah, why not start?
I think
Microsoft's got like a great lineup of potential IPs and everything that they don't have to start weak and build up to Halo 5. They can just do it right away.
Yeah. And what do you think we're going to see of Halo 5?
I'm going to say we're going to see gameplay from Master Chief's perspective and from Locke's perspective.
Okay.
So we're going to see like the same section, but from each of their perspectives.
Mm-hmm. What was it, Halo 2 that had that?
Yeah, but like because they've been releasing those trailers of Master Chief and Locke, and one of them is Chief on the ground, Locke aiming the gun at him, and the other one is Locke on the ground, Chief aiming the gun at him, potentially signaling either 2 different endings or 2 different campaigns. Yeah. And so I think we're going to see the parallel campaigns.
That makes sense. Going on, because I kind of think the same thing. I think they're going to open it with the single player demo. I think they come back to it later on in the conference and show us some multiplayer.
For the multiplayer.
Yep. Yeah. I think that makes sense. That Phil Spencer has come out and said that this E3 is 100% focused on games, and first-party games, and specifically. And I think that Halo is Microsoft's flagship, franchise, and I think they want to spend as much time with it as possible, especially because it's coming out this year. This is something tangible that people will be playing. They already announced the October release date, which is a weird time to release it, but more on that a little bit later. But yeah, I think that we're gonna spend a pretty significant amount of time with Halo 5.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, I'm going to say that they take the audience's high and use that to propel them through some new Project Spark stuff. Because I'm going to say there's some Project Spark stuff that's coming down the pipeline, some new crap, or some new game that's getting a revival in Spark or an iteration in Spark, and they're going to use the high from Halo 5 to propel us through the slog that is Project Spark onto the next big thing.
Do people care about that game?
No. Well, someone does somewhere, because there is a community there that makes cool things.
It was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Kind of taking Little Big
Planet
to the next
wouldn't
level.
Yeah, and they wouldn't keep making things for it like they have if there was no money to be made in it. Sure. So I
honestly I had not even thought for a second about Project Spark since they announced it last E3 or whenever that was. So
yeah, it's been rattling around in my brain because ever since they announced that Conker's revival in it, and I know that's out now, and I have yet to play it because I'm not the one in my group of friends with an Xbox One. Mm-hmm. But I want to play that really bad, and I would not be surprised to see some significant Project Spark significant to the community Project Spark announcement.
Well, going off of things people probably won't really care about, my second prediction, I think we're going to get some more HoloLens stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've already shown a little bit of it working with Minecraft. I think they're going to showcase it in another game. I don't know what, because I don't really know what games would work well with that. If it's going to be a new game or an already existing game that they're just going to have support for. But because I think on their side, they're going to expect Sony to show a lot of Project Morpheus. And HoloLens, while not directly related to Morpheus and the Oculus Rift and all that kind of stuff. It's their own separate piece of technology. I think that they're going to try to highlight what it can do. And it wouldn't be a E3 press conference without some bullshit tech stuff that no one really gives a shit about. And that's not a Microsoft thing. All the, Sony does
they
it
all
too.
do it.
So I think.
What if we saw every VR headset there, like Sony's Morpheus?
We
Microsoft's
probably will.
AR,
Man. We're going to be getting Oculus Rift at the PC showcase, I imagine, or at least the HTC Vive. We'll get some of that there. So I'm sure that all of this VR BS will be at E3 in some capacity. It's just whether or not it will be at the actual press conferences. And I think for Microsoft, because HoloLens is so different than the typical VR, I do think they want to showcase it because the stuff that they showed with Minecraft, it's pretty cool.
Well, like
I don't
the
care
difference,
about it, but it's pretty cool.
Because I can get behind augmented reality. It's virtual reality that I don't care about because if you're just sitting there with a fucking headset on, who cares? Like if I'm going to do virtual reality, I want the full body experience. Sure. I want to run around an area and like do all that kind of crap. I want to hear and smell and like have full simulation like a fucking holodeck. Mm-hmm. But with augmented reality, I'm okay with some like certain limitations to that
because
like,
it's really just heightening your experience. It's not trying to create a fully new experience,
right? And I see HoloLens as one of our toddler steps towards having real smart homes, and or like a pair of glasses or like just a watch that can overlay screen menus and things in the environment around you and communicates wirelessly with your home and all that kind of stuff to display things. I see this as one of the first steps towards that. And I know we'll eventually get there. It's just this step does not interest me as much as the potential end goal.
So for my number 3, it's not super sexy, but I think we're going to get some sort of small trailer or gameplay thing for Assassin's Creed Syndicate and for The Division. And I think for both of those games, Microsoft will be announcing timed exclusive DLC or special pre-order bonuses for their versions. Some kind of Microsoft exclusive bullshit with those two games. Assassin's Creed in the past had been more aligned with Sony, but last year with Unity, they were aligned with Microsoft, and I think that trend is going to continue and bleed into The Division, which is another Ubisoft property. So I think that exclusive DLC stuff sucks. I wish it didn't exist, but if it does, whatever. It's very easily ignorable, I guess, is the positive side of it. And
that's what people are learning, is that, A, these games aren't that great anymore anyways, but B, like, at the end of the day, people are used to being, raked over the coals with this exclusive DLC stuff.
Yeah.
So also at the end of the day, how much has that ever affected your experience? And I think people are starting to realize that.
I think a larger thing, games are so big and expensive to make nowadays, AAA games at least, that they need to release on all consoles to make their money back. Microsoft and Sony, and much to a lesser extent Nintendo, they don't have the money to give you up front to justify having your sales, or like having HALVIM, however you spell having. Splitting it in half, only getting half the sales.
Okay, there you go.
The money that they're getting doesn't justify doing that. So instead of making it a console-exclusive game, they're just getting console-exclusive DLC, which entices people to buy it. And like Microsoft, I'm sure, pays for a large chunk of the marketing budget, so they get money on that end. But there isn't as much risk where, we'll align ourselves exclusively with Microsoft for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Well, the Xbox One has sold half the amount of consoles as the PS4 has, so we're going to sell way less copies than we would if we sold on both. That doesn't really make sense from a business perspective, so I think this is the next logical step of the exclusivity war. And I have to say, I think that exclusive DLC is much preferable to exclusive games from third parties, because I want to play as many games as possible. I can't afford both consoles. I went with PS4 this time around, and last time around, but I want to be able to play all the games. Just like people that own an Xbox One. They want to be able to play as many PlayStation 4 games as they can. It's better for the consumer that way. So this DLC, while it sucks, it's very easily ignorable.
And something I've noticed a trend in the gaming market is that we seem to be viewing every new console release as being like insanely expensive, when in reality they're all essentially the same price when they come out. And so like us saying like, oh, we can't afford an Xbox One when we used to have both a PS3 and an Xbox 360, I think that speaks more to there's more shit for us to spend our money on besides
Phones
gaming consoles.
And tablets.
Yeah, that also play into a branch of that experience.
Right.
And so that it lessens, and you're talking about exclusivity, it lessens the impact because their games are not exclusive to consoles and PC anymore, you know?
Right. Okay, so what did you have for your number 3 prediction?
Fable Legends. We're going to see some more of that piece of shit.
I think we will too. That wasn't one of my predictions, but I agree. And who cares about that game?
The people who made it.
The
4v1
thing is a really, really cool idea. Excuse me. And I think that
before Evolve came out.
Right, and I think that Evolve. I mean, I haven't played it, but seeing what I have and hearing about it, what I have, it definitely doesn't seem like there's much longevity there. But I think that's more just about the amount of content, not about the style of game. I definitely think there is a lot of cool to be had from that asynchronous 4v1 kind of game, and it's almost a shame that EA canceled Shadow Realms that BioWare was making, because I didn't really care about it. I wasn't super interested in it, but they're obviously a very talented developer. I would have liked to have seen what they could do with it, but we never will now. So we'll see. Fable Legends is going to come out. It's a game. It's a video game. So yeah, I do think we'll see something else about that, which is a waste of time in my opinion. But,
yep.
I also have. They've already. I don't know if they've officially announced it, but it did leak about the Gears of War HD that they're the remaster. And
is that your number 4?
Yes.
That's also my number 4.
And so we've seen where it is now. It seems like it's only the first game.
Yeah, it's Gears of War Ultimate, and so my assumption is it will be Gears of War 2 Ultimate and Gears of War 3 Ultimate.
So you think they're announcing all of them?
No, I'm just saying like when they name them. The future iterations.
I sure as hell hope not, or if that is the case, it better be like a $30 game, because you should not charge $60 for that, but that's just my opinion.
It'll be at least 40, because they're not going to charge less than $40 for a game. It just doesn't happen anymore unless it's digital only in some indie title. Like big publishers don't sell games for less than $40 anymore, even remakes.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bummer to learn. I mean, and it's not official yet. We'll see. But if that is the case, where it's just the first game, I feel like that's a pretty big disappointment. They very easily. I don't know how much work they put into it, but from the outside, it seems like they could have very easily put the first 3 games into one pack and sold it, or even including Gears of War Judgment and done that. But who knows how big of a transformation this game has gone under, because presumably it's Black Tusk who's making the next Gears of War that is doing this HD remaster, much like 343 made the Master Chief Collection, not Bungie. So hopefully it's not as big of a disaster as the Master Chief Collection was, but
hey,
dude,
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. I'm not
I wish I could.
Not about the content. It was a great idea putting all the multiplayer and the
server.
physics. Like, that's really amazing that they thought to do that, but the execution was definitely lacking. Going off of that, I totally agree. I think they're going to show that and officially unveil it. I also think they're going to add a stinger to the end of that for New Gears of War.
Okay.
Not even like a teaser trailer, just like much like what they did with Doom, how they gave us like this 10-second pre-teaser announcement.
Flashes of action and Dom
like
doing something or whatever.
Thing I don't think it's going to be called Gears of War 4. I think it's going to be Gears of War : something. And I think it's
just
like
be, Judgment.
Yeah, some kind of fighting happening. Dom says something badass. Fade to black. And then the little
war
skull,
never changes.
The little skull icon with Gears of War, blah blah blah. Gears of War never changes is what it's going to be called. So that's my number 4. Finally, And this is something I wish that I could be excited about, but I'm really not. I think Rare is going to get out on stage and announce a sequel to one of their old IPs, be it Battletoads or BanjoKazooie or Viva Pinata or whatever.
It won't be... Okay, that's funny that you said that last one. But it won't be BanjoKazooie because like several of the team members, remember, they're now making ukulele.
Yes.
And so like if they were to make BanjoKazooie, like they don't have like the core influences anymore.
They don't have the core influences for any of those games. People have roasted.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true.
And this is what it goes back to what I was saying about me not even being excited about this. Rare is not the company that it was in the 90s when it made all of these amazing games.
Yeah.
Amazing in quotations, because Battletoads, spoiler alert, is a shitty game. But those people aren't at the company anymore. They've all moved on and gone and done different things. And so saying Rare is making this new game that, they worked on before doesn't mean anything. It's not that same creative team that put all this stuff together. It's Rare. It's not even like a figurehead, but it's like an empty shell of a company that used to exist. But because of how everyone's jumping on the bandwagon with ukulele and how Battletoads were in Shovel Knight, like I think that they're definitely building to that kind of announcement. I
could see a Shovel Knights thing. I could see that.
What do you mean?
I specifically don't see a BanjoKazooie thing because the ukulele thing is happening, and like they don't need that competition because everyone's just going to go play ukulele. They're not going to play the new BanjoKazooie.
I don't know,
because
BanjoKazooie has the name.
People know the ukulele thing is happening. Like that's huge.
I think that people that kickstarted ukulele are desperate for a 3D platformer game, and they know it's made by the people that made the games they love. If the company that made the games they love comes out and says, yeah, we know these guys are doing a spiritual successor to kind of what we made, but we're actually making a real sequel on a much larger budget with the name that you want, I think that, not that it would steal sales from ukulele, but I think those people would be open to doing both. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But I think the larger chance is a new Battletoads game, because Phil Spencer has kind of been teasing it a lot, mentioning the name on Twitter a lot, and all this kind of stuff. And the fact that the Battletoads in the Xbox One version of Shovel Knight, Battletoads were one of the bosses.
Right, they added him as a boss.
That's kind of what I think. But again, that doesn't excite me at all. The idea of it, in a perfect world, that sounds great, modernizing something like that, and maybe making Battletoads into, like, I don't know, a good game. But whatever their names are, Pimple, Zitz, and
Warts or
Rash
something?
or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely... I definitely think that Rare will come out and announce a new game. And I think it will be a successor to one of their previous IP.
All right. For my number 5, I had Dead Rising. I'm going to announce a new Dead Rising game. Because they had one at launch, I believe it was, for the Xbox One. And so it's been a little bit of time. Honestly, I don't think Dead Rising 3 was super well received.
It was very different. It took itself... Like, in the story, it took itself seriously, but it still had all the kookiness of the other Dead Rising games, and I feel like those two didn't really gel well together.
Yeah, the juxtaposition between those two was it kind of jarring.
And I mean, it sold well, but it was also like a launch title.
Yeah, it's a launch game, so of course it sells well. And then they had that like really weird, like, it was like Dead Rising Super Ultra Turbo Alpha whatever thing, limited edition.
With all the Capcom stuff.
Yeah. And that was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like Dead Rising is one of their flagship franchises that they don't want to let go of it.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to find something to do with it this year.
I could see that.
I don't know what that'll be. If it'll be, if maybe they have some weird Dead Rising app planned for their AR headset. I don't know.
That could be cool. Something in an open world like that would work pretty well with HoloLens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as your batshit crazy prediction, what do you think?
All right. Well, you mentioned Viva Pinata,
Okay.
And that's one of them that I would really like to see. That I think would be fucking awesome and hilarious to bring back. But the one that I really, and there's zero chance of it because no one owns the rights to it anymore. I don't think. Too Human. Too Human 2.
Silicon Knights.
More human.
Yes, I don't remember the specifics of that, but yeah, it was Silicon Knights was the developer, and they went out of business and had some kind of legal battle, and so they, like, that was supposed to be like a trilogy of games or something, and it all got canceled, and they like recalled all of the games, and you can't buy it anymore. Yeah, I think that IP, or at least the name, legally is dead. I don't think you could possibly make a Too Human 2. Would you even
They're
call
gonna
it that?
do it, man. They're gonna do it.
Too Human. Well, then what would the next one be? Too Human 3? That doesn't even make sense.
But they do, they do it all with numbers, so it's the number 2
Too
human 3.
Okay. For mine, this is so dumb, and I hope beyond hope that it won't happen. Minecraft 2.
Oh no! No!
Mojang has been pretty dark on what's been going on in development since Microsoft bought them. They released, what was it 1.8 was the most recent version with the underwater temples?
Yeah, 1.8.4 is the most recent. That's like the patches stuff.
Right,
yeah,
patch.
1.8.
But as far as big updates, it was 1.8, and that was pretty long, like several months ago. And
1.9 is coming down the pipeline.
Is it?
They're adding like different types of arrows and stuff.
Oh.
And like quivers and all that.
Okay, cool. I mean, that sounds cool. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. But, again, this isn't going to happen. I don't know that we will ever get a Minecraft 2. I think Microsoft purchased Mojang and the rights to Minecraft less for making that into a franchise than they did to expand the merchandising of it.
Yes.
Toys and apps and all other bullshit. I don't really think we'll ever see a Minecraft 2. I think they'll continue to expand upon it. But more realistically, I think it makes sense for them to spend a little bit of time in the press conference on Minecraft because it's such a huge game. Less with people that would be watching E3 because it's mostly younger kids and you and I.
That would be interesting though if they announced like plans for 1.9 or version 2.0 or whatever at the conference.
It would
that
definitely
would be pretty
weird,
cool,
especially because PC is still leading the way, and so if it's not going to be day and date on their console, it doesn't make a ton of sense to spend time on that. And I don't know that would be the case, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Or maybe they're gonna announce like an update to bring the console version up to date.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
With the PC version.
Right, and
maybe that's what it is.
An update to the Xbox One and the 360 versions, or maybe even details on Telltale's Minecraft story mode.
Oh, yeah,
something
fucking forgot
with
about
Minecraft,
that.
I do think will happen, and it makes sense for it to happen. Minecraft's so fucking huge. That was one of the biggest stories of last year was them buying Minecraft, so I think that they have to give some kind of lip service to it. So yeah,
I agree. I would not be surprised if we saw some Telltale Minecraft.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so there you go. Those are our Microsoft predictions. Some of them realistic, some of them not so realistic. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Leave me your predictions. What crazy weird thing do you think could possibly happen that would blow everyone's pants off? Like I said before, links to all the other videos in the description. Check those out. I'll be posting all of these throughout the next week and a half. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Too Human 3. Don't forget it.
Coming this fall.